Hey, making this quick video real quick to talk about a book I read recently called The Long-Term Game. I'm just going to talk about what I was hoping to learn from it, what I did learn from it, and if I recommend it. So yeah, let's get into it. Overall, I am happy I read The Long-Term Game. It did have a lot of good information in it, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Just as a quick background, I've been developing games as a software engineer for about 4 years now, and I wanted to read this book to get information about everything outside of the actual process of putting together the game that makes a game successful, like marketing and advertising and all that kind of stuff. Um, and there was a lot of information on that, but there was information covering what a medium to large studio would do as far as like getting investors and managing a large amount of employees and all of that stuff. All interesting, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Near the end of the book, it did have some stuff that I was looking for. So let's get into that now. So one of the main key takeaways was key performance indicators. The key performance indicators that the book talked about had to do with retention rates, monetization rates, and cost per install. I'll go into more detail on those now. So retention rates have to do with how long users stick around with your game. It measures how many days beyond installing the game the user continues to play it. So the target metric was 40% of users open it a second time, open your application a second time. 20% of users open your application throughout the process of a week. And then 10% of users stick around for over a month. These metrics allow you to measure how people are enjoying the progression of your game, what is enticing about the long game. Maybe if there's like a certain area of time between when they're playing, there might be some kind of boring period of progression. It's obviously a very generic measure, but it is very important. The other thing is monetization rates. Now, obviously, there's an unethical level you can monitor this rate to where you're trying to take as much money as possible from users. Obviously, that's not the goal of any video game development studio, but you do need to make money to continue making games. So it is a very important metric to measure. The book talked about, for freemium games, targeting a 10% or 10 cents a daily active user monetization rate. Now that's kind of dependent on a couple things, and there's multiple ways you can make money, whether that's ads or in-app purchases or whatever. So there's some good information in there, but I don't have time to go into detail on all of it now. And then the last metric is the cost per install. This is talking about advertising, how often you can get players to click an impression, whether that be off of Facebook, a banner ad, or whatever it is. How cheap can you buy a user to install your game with advertising? And having those metrics allows you to calculate the success of your game on a very generic, basic, you can't get the exact success of the game, but you can get an idea of whether it'll be profitable or not, whether the idea is worth pursuing or not. So all very good information. So now let's talk about soft releases. A soft release is a smaller release of a kind of less finished product to a smaller target region than your eventual large target region. So this allows you to measure your key performance indicators before your major later release. This is an important strategy so that you can have an idea of how successful the game is going to be before actually rolling it out to everyone that might want to play it. Some regions that this talked about was, if your target market is going to be the United States, then you might do a soft launch in some regions of Canada or something where there's a similar culture, similar people, similar ideas towards mobile games or whatever your type of game is, so that in general you can have an understanding of these key performance indicators before doing your major release. But anyways, that is the basics of the important information I learned from this book. Otherwise, there was a lot of cool information about how some larger studios establish investing rounds, and how they bring in investors, and how they manage employees, and how all of that stuff happens. All interesting, but not actually directly applicable to people that are newer in game development and kind of want a less risk solution where we develop the thing ourselves and do the release ourselves without having to go into either debt or take other people's money or pull on a bunch of employees and stuff. So that is the basics of the book. I overall enjoyed it. I would recommend it. It's not a long read. It's pretty short. It's worth the information that it's got. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you're interested in this kind of stuff. And let me know if any other books come up that I should look into. Thanks.